Respected Chairperson, respected audience, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I, Dr. Ghulam NABI, from Islamic University of Science and Technology, from the Department of Islamic Studies. It is very difficult for me to speak on such a dynamic personality and on his magnum opus, Risale-i, because I found this book and his personality both having multi-thought and multi-purpose. We can deduce so many things from this Risale-i, but I tried my best to speak on one aspect of his Badiuzzamaan Sayyid Nursi's invitation to the revival of Islamic belief. إن الله لا يغير ما بقوم حتى يغيروا ما بأنفسهم. Verily, Allah will never change the condition of those until they change what is in themselves. Islam possesses its complete system of social life, which guaranteed freedom, equality, social justice to all. There was therefore no need for Muslims to borrow ideas, institutions from others. Further, Muslims should be self-reliant in our field and should not depend on others. Muslims should not imagine themselves to be a part of world system of world order. Rather, they should realize that among the mankind there are distinct entity called the Ummat-e-Wast, middle community. Similarly, they should not think of themselves as divided into a number of nations, minority groups, each of which can become a part of the local cultural and civilization norms, streams. They should have a holistic image of themselves, that is, they are a single, organic and a global community which has its own distinct worldview, culture and civilization. Therefore, should have appropriate institutional structure and make that civilization flourish. Badiuzzamaan's address in Risale-i is not only to all Muslims but whole mankind. It explains true nature and purpose of man and universe, which is fully realized by his writings. After the sack of the Abbasid Khilafah in 1258 at the hands of the Mongols, the Muslims eventually regrouped and went on to their zenith. Three most powerful Muslim empires came on the scene: the Safavids in Iran, Mughals in India, and the Ottomans in Turkey, West Asia, North Africa, and Europe. Of the three, Ottoman Empire was the most powerful. They had hold over whole of the Arabia and a major part of the world. But Muslims started to become a prey at the hands of the foreigners. About the time the Safavids, Mughals, and Ottomans were well developed, the Europeans began their inroads into Asia and Africa. They entered into Muslim lands as traders and achieved some power by infiltrating into some territories. Apart from these infiltrations, some other invasions also took place. The foremost invader was Napoleon Bonaparte. On landing in Egypt in 1798, he issued a proclamation in the name of Allah, the most gracious, most merciful, assuring Muslims that he is their true friend. He invoked the help of sheikhs, qazis, imams, and assured that the French were true Muslims and their real friends. Tsarist Russia followed Bonaparte, and they penetrated into Central Asia. The British ran between the two. They occupied India. The Muslims were that time not having the cordial relations among themselves. Therefore, taking the advantage of these circumstances, Europeans cheated Arabs, the Arabs, with the help of foreigners, revolted against Turkish Khilafah, which was a symbol of the Islamic unity and Muslim brotherhood. Soon the Muslims realized their mistake, but time had gone. The rebellious Arabs had not achieved anything, but only changed masters from fellow Muslims to alien Christians. This realization sent a wave of resentment through not only the political misfortunes, but its ideology. The very basis of its identity was undermined. Keeping in view this foreign hegemony and weakness of Muslims, the Muslim thinkers played a prominent role in disseminating or solving the problems of the Muslim world. They laid the stress on Muslim domination over all the powers. As the nature of the Islamic community is such that it would dominate others by means of their strength and power. There are a number of Quranic verses which seek Muslim domination over the whole world. For instance, the command is for none but Allah. In fact, Islam is a binding force which unites Muslims. It will be seen that an Arab does not abhor the idea of being ruled by the Turk. The Persia easily submit to the rule of the Arab. So long as the rulers observe and protect Sharia, no one is concerned about their nationality, as it is Islam which keeps Muslims united, as Shibli has rightly said. The word Muslim does not refer to any race, any family, any country, or any population. Muslim nationality depends on religion. Once religion is taken away, Muslim nationality goes to pieces. Amidst this confusion and transition of the Muslim world, great many personalities like Jamaluddin Afghani, Muhammad Abduhu, Rashid Rida, Sir Said Ahmad Khan, Muhammad Iqbal, and likely in Turkey, Badiuzzamaan Sayyid to revive Islam and reform Muslim societies. Within and without, Turkey was the leader of the Muslim world after the beginning of the 20th century. Although it was already in decline, but the Muslims around the world were looking towards Turkey after the Khilafah. Unfortunately for the Muslim world, Turkey started looking towards West and there by leaving the Muslim world leaderless. At the time Badiuzzamaan Sayyid Nursi was born, conflict between East and the West was at its peak. Two general trends may be discerned, Islamists and the Westernizers. They range with range of compromise and confusion between them. In general, the West had overwhelmed to a large extent. The Muslim world on the whole was itself in confusion, as the Western civilization and culture had inflicted cursing defeat to the Muslim world. Most of the institutions of the Muslim world were crumbling. Political, educational system, judiciary, rather, was all losing its battle against the West. However, the process of secularization in the other parts of the Muslim world was gradual, but in Turkey it was unparalleled in the radical and explicit nature. Nursi, Badiuzzamaan, in his Risale-i, concentrated on to make the truths of faith in conformity with modern science through rational proofs and evidences, and by explaining the miraculous aspect of the Quran. While doing this tremendous job, Badiuzzamaan faced unbearable persecution, imprisonment, and exile. He notes the decline of the Muslim world in the weakening of the foundation of the faith. The attacks carried Risale-i's uniqueness lies in that it addresses not only to all Muslims but whole mankind. Though it was written in accordance with modern mentality, it also explains the true nature and purpose of man and universe. It directs man to learn the attributes of the Creator and the duties of a creature. All his life represented a most effective, high intellectual, moral, and spiritual strength of Islam. To him, the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ and the first four companions, his age was full of materialism. Many during his period were after communism. There was havoc on all sides. It is this towering personality who leads the people to believe and inculcates in them a strong hope of restoration. During that period, science and philosophy were used to mislead young generation into atheism, and all this was done to remove from people's mind the accumulated sediment of false beliefs and superstitions, and to purify them both intellectually and spiritually. Badiuzzamaan in his Risale-i mainly concentrates on the existence of and unity of God, the resurrection, prophethood, divine scriptures, Jabr al-Qadr, Ibadah, justice, and man's place in the universe and his duty. The role played by political thinkers, the institutions, the movements, the organizations to the greater extent was useful for the Muslim Ummah. But there is a need to review the situation according to the present circumstances so that Muslim Ummah could be drawn out of the dreadful situation in which it is not finding any meaningful role for future. Badiuzzamaan Sayyid Nursi, who occupies a special place in modern Turkey and Islamic thought, led a movement for the revival of Islamic belief and faith and displayed a rare combination of integrity, dedication, and clarity of thought. He emerged as one of the leading religious scholars of the highest standing, who had wide knowledge of modern science and many areas of modern life and learning. He stands unparalleled in 20th century in the Muslim scholarship in Turkey. This is no overstatement.